What is up, everybody? It's your boy Cold Heart Samurai coming out of nowhere with another fucking video. But today it's gonna be a little different. It's gonna be a little different. I wanted to talk about my newbie perspective on Skull Merchant. Currently, right now, I think I'm about P2. Yeah, P2, P3 on Skull Merchant. I've learned a lot more about her, but the gameplay you're going to be seeing in the background is going to be my first three games as Skull Merchant. And honestly, I have to say, like, me personally, I think she's overpowered. She is overpowered. Like, just the fact that number one, the lock on ability from your drones, like you get 6 drones you can place around the map, and you can put them down pretty much anywhere. They I think they despawn when people disable them enough, or they despawn when you hook someone. So that was a little bit of an RP to find out moment, because it definitely did not say that anywhere or any way. But I think from those abilities, having 6 of them is just very that's almost like what, like 6 out of 7 gens or 6 out of 6 on every single map, meaning that in theory you could just place every drone at every gen, and if you're playing against a squad that's not expertised in playing against Skull Merchant, then you get a bit of a problem where you just know where everyone is at all times. And what these drones basically do as well is they pretty much they stay idle until they detect a survivor coming near them. When they detect the survivor coming near them, a little alarm plays and they start going into their second phase, which is, I believe, lock on. That is when they come out of their like hibernating state and they start spinning in a little area radius, a circle area radius. And after a couple of scans, I think like 1 to 3 scans, it starts to detect them. But as soon as the drone goes up, you have a bit of time where you can look on your radar and you can check and see where the survivors are. Me personally, I love the character, because I mean, genuinely, like, I like the fact that this could be a realistic killer in a sense. Like, it can be a purely realistic killer. She doesn't look too like unrealistic or too high tech. It's kind of like a mash of realism and also fantasy, a little bit like steampunkish. And I kind of like that aesthetic. It's really nice, and I like the way she plays. But on top of having these abilities with your drone, when the drone detects somebody when it goes into the state, you get haste. Haste is where you move a bit faster as a killer, and it doesn't matter if you're near them, you could be all the way across the map. As long as the drone detects and goes into that state and detects one survivor, you get haste. So that's just an overall great ability in general. There's tons of map control you can put on with this, whether it be gens, whether it be escapes, especially if you use No Way Out. I'm not gonna talk about perks because I'm not the one to go to. I'm literally running like fucking Ghostface and Oni perks with Jolt. So don't come to me talking about some fucking perks, but either way, um, I just believe that having not only this lock on ability, having 6 drones that you can place practically anywhere around the map, on top of that, you get haste, and on top of that, you get undetectable. So now you're faster, you can't be detected, and you have map control, and you know where survivors are at least 75% of the time. If they're not experienced, or even if they are experienced, you still can catch them off guard and know where they are. I've had multiple games nowadays after I played after these three, where I played against Prestige 8s, Prestige 45s, and I've still ended up killing two out of four or 3 out of 4 in each lobby, just because of how powerful the map control can be. And I just like the feeling that she gives off, where you can sit here and be like, you know what, like I'm in control of the game at all times. Like this is my playing field and you're playing my game essentially. It's easy to just let survivors go get that isolated gen in the middle of nowhere and completely block off another side of the map to where you either hostage a person for an entire hour or you just have so much control that they have to take a hit, they have to get hooked. Somebody has to sacrifice something for the gen to go up. And overall, that I just find her completely just like very overpowered, but also I wouldn't know how to fix them because obviously I've only been playing Dead by Daylight for about 50 hours now. I think I'm about to hit 50 hours. I've only played 3 killers: Ghostface, Oni, and obviously Skull Merchant. So don't take my opinion to be like some actual book of knowledge, because I mean I've only played 3 killers. Most of the people that play this game now have played like every single one and gotten them the prestige 3 at least. I'm more of a killer main if I say so myself. Like I really enjoy playing killer because survivor is just like so frustrating for me in so many different ways. But I do enjoy playing survivor sometimes. It mostly depends if there's a bonus or anything. Probably if I played with friends, obviously it would be a lot more fun, but playing solo is just kind of a headache for me when it comes to playing Survivor. But I do play Michaela, and I also have Yui, but I don't really play her. But Michaela's my main. I like to play like kind of a supportive role when it comes to playing Survivor. But for the Skull Merchant, I have to say that after these like first 3 games, like it was really insane for me to come off of Oni, which a lot of people have said he's one of the hardest killers to learn, and I'd say I do pretty decent with him. Now I'll probably insert a couple of clips, a couple of things I did on Oni, but I would say I do pretty decent with Oni. So coming off of Oni and having this blood rush and everything to having a character where it's like a cold, calm, and calculated approach to playing the game, where like it's like, oh, okay, I'm down to 3 gens. Well, welcome to my chessboard. Instead of like, oh no, they captured Gen 5 and Gen 4. Like, fuck, what am I gonna do? It's like, no, I've been setting up the game for this to happen, and I'm ready to play now. And I find that just extremely enjoyable and extremely impactful on how the game can go. Because no matter what, I just believe that Skull Merchant is guaranteed at least 1 kill a game if you just play gen defense. Just playing against the gens, just setting up your drones around them, setting them up, like putting them in areas, recalling when they get a gen, things like that. And also expecting, like, trying to basically push the survivors to get gens that you are too out of your territory. Because, yeah, you can overexpand and you can easily just get outplayed by, okay, they have a gen over there on the other side of the map. Now they're just going to walk to the other side and finish that gen. Now, what was the point? You know where they are, but now walking to them is going to take forever. So it's really nice when you can push the survivors to be like, yeah, you should go get that gen all the way in the corner and, not get this one that's right beside the other 3 that I have drones on, please. That's really enjoyable to me. I also enjoy the fact of her entire character, as I said before, like the aesthetic variant of being realistic, where you can easily imagine this person being an actual killer in the real world, but also unrealistic in a couple of ways, like the drones and the radar. But even those don't expand to the point to where you like look at them and you're like, wow, that's unrealistic, this takes me out of immersion. It's like, yeah, you can probably easily do this in the real world, and at least in some capacity, maybe not exact form, but that's also really enjoyable. Personally, I have to say, after hitting about P2 on her, she's become my favorite killer. The Like the only killer I really want to play at the end of the day, because I just, and like when it came to Oni, it was really fun because learning Blood Rush was holy shit. It's like literally playing Tokyo Drift, trying to learn that on at least fighting some survivors. But when it comes to playing Skull Merchant, I know I'm at least like, I know that I feel like I'm progressing a lot more than I do on Oni, where it's like one game I can completely just take out 3 people with a blood rush. The next, I'm just like, what is happening? Like, is this guy new to Oni? So it's pretty different when it comes to Skull Merchant. Also, some of her add-ons, like even the low tier ones, are just completely disgusting. Having the ability to take off skill check notifications when they come up for survivors, to having the ability to put your terror radius onto your drones and gain undetectable and have no terror radius on your person, to having the batteries be expanded, I mean, reduced by 50%, but also faster scan radius and such like that. It's absolutely wicked how many different ways you can go about playing Skull Merchant, but I believe she just has such a linear pathway of main gameplay where it's defend gens with your drones, chase some survivors, mostly playing around your territory, where it's kind of like you're just playing like as like a house dog or a house animal, where you just kind of defend your own territory. You don't really expand much out of it. You don't try to do too much because at the end of the day, I've never disabled or fought a skull merchant, so I really don't have experience on the survivor side, but it can be pretty easy to just sit there and like disable a drone and you get no notification as the killer. So it can be pretty difficult, like if you're using sound only and you're not really looking, to get past it, because the drone, when it gets disabled, it goes down for a second, it comes off of your screen, you can't see it through walls or anything, and then it goes right back up like it's normal and nothing gets detected. So that can be a pretty difficult way of doing things. But at the same time, sometimes when trying to disable the drone, people get caught up and they can't really, like it still detects them. So it's a mixed bag when it comes to that. But I truly don't think that there's a lot of ways you could really, like, a solid way you can penetrate fighting the Skull Merchant. Like, for example, with Oni, you can just take extremely sharp turns to get away from Oni and his blood rush. And there you go. That's a counter for him. With Ghostface, you just have to be very perceptive because his terror radius disappears and he has the ability to play stealth. I think one tap. I'm honestly, I'm not that good on mechanics. Please don't ask me. I'm a bot. But yeah, but when it comes to Skull Merchant, there's just not really a way that I see that you can truly counter somebody, especially for me since I'm P3, P2 now. Like when somebody disables my drone, I can easily detect that because I can just, hold out my radar and look around and I see a red arrow with no see-through drone and I'm like, "Oh, that's down, so they have to be over there." And it's right beside a gen, so why wouldn't they be there? So I don't think there's like truly like some end all be all to countering that. I mean, of course, like you can make the argument that, well, a good Oni player can just make a extremely sharp turn after he's done with Blood Rush and get used to doing that, and then he can kill survivors that way. But you can also make the argument for Ghostface and be like, well, the Ghostface can just be easily more stealthier or wear like a more blending in robe, because there are a lot of customizations for Ghostface. Uh, for some reason, I also don't really understand why the fuck they didn't let you wear the classic Ghostface when you buy them, but whatever. It's not. I'm not behavior, so it is what it is. But me personally, I have to say, after playing a good bit of Skull Merchant, this is probably one of my favorite killers and one of the closest things I've gotten to what I actually want to achieve in Dead by Daylight, which is ultimately playing as if I'm the game master at the end of the day. I'm the killer. I'm the game master. you play by my rules and you play my game. Like it's not so like there's no point in playing Skull Merchant to where you feel like you've lost control of the game. Because even if they get all the gens, you can just put your drone in the escapes. And there you go. Like, now what are they going to do about that? There's nothing that they can do, there's nothing that they can counter. And it's more difficult to actually sit and counter them than it is to do anything else. And I guess those are my thoughts on Skull Merchant. I'll probably make another video when I got a good bit more experience on her. And hopefully, maybe my opinion changes after I play some more killers, or maybe it stays. Uh, that's just my opinion, though. And I hope you don't take it too deeply, because obviously, I am new to Dead by Daylight. I don't have that much experience on different killers. Uh, I just know that drone go beep and razor blade go slash. Like that's that's about it. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day. Stay safe, and this is your boy Cold Dollar Samurai out of here. Out of here. Out of here. I'm dead out of here, bro. Like I'm dead ass.